been married for a few years. He has some shady businesses going on. One day, he tells his wife to take a pill before she leaves. She takes the pill, leaves because she's going to go buy something. She starts getting sick on the way and ends up passing away. She ends up passing away. But before she passed away, she called her best friend and let her know that she had taken this pill and that she wasn't feeling well. Now we're at the questioning part. So, yeah. Today's true crime and murder mystery is... Really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much. That's pretty awesome. I'm glad you're able to catch the live show today, and I appreciate your support. Thank you. But yeah, it's basically a pretty nice portrayal of how evil human beings can be and the lengths that they go to harm others, which is, I mean, it's crazy. The first video that we saw, we reacted and discussed Visine murders. So we saw like 3 or 4 cases where people used Visines in water or coffee and like unalived their partners or bosses or something like that. And yeah, now it's a pill. We don't know what the pill is yet, but it falls in line with being poisoned. So it's pretty crazy. Thank you very much. Totally done. All right, moving on.
Dies and nobody can help her. It's kind of like, what happened? Well, I think I have most of what I need at this point. Are the calcium pills still at home? Mm-hmm. Would you mind if I followed you back to your home and collected those? No, that'd be great. Not at all? Okay. Anything else you can think of? That I've thought of everything.
So Detective followed Yaz home, and upon entering the house, he found 2 honeys inside. 2 nannies, one for the day, one for the night. Why you would need a nighttime nanny? Their names were Margarita Montanez and Michelle Madeline, though they were really nannies for Yaz and his dick. Yaz gave the officer the pills from the medicine cabinet, and they were to be tested. Then, later on that same night in the middle of March, rather than one of his nannies watching the kids, he asked Rosie's sister to, and he dropped off his 2 children at her house. And then, in the middle of the night, he called and said his brother had been in a car accident. He'd have to head off for a day or 2. He never came back. The DiPuccios learned quickly that there had been no car accident. A missing persons report was filed for Yazeed, a Yazeed who was long gone. He was, by this stage, halfway across the world, in Cyprus. And, just a little while after, they learned the calcium capsules were in fact filled with cyanide. In fact, it was readily apparent when they were reviewed by the technician. See, there was a mix in that little box.
Damn. Dude, no wonder she took it, and it was such a short period of time between when she got into the car and she ended up stopping in a corner and she was vomiting on herself, and it ended up being blood, and then she passed away because it was cyanide. Like, I don't know if he's gonna give a quick description of cyanide, but it's a rapidly acting, potentially deadly chemical that can exist in various forms. Cyanide can be a colorless gas, such as hydrogen cyanide, HCN, or cyanogen chloride, CNCI, or a crystal form such as sodium cyanide or potassium cyanide. Let's see. Okay, so what does it do to the body? It prevents the cells of the body from using oxygen. When this happens, the cells die. Cyanide is more harmful to the heart and brain than to other organs because the heart and brain use a lot of oxygen. Damn, he gave her a full pill of cyanide. It's insane. Let me see. I'm trying to see. Okay, so when ingested as sodium or potassium cyanide, the lethal dose is 100 to 200 milligrams. I think ibuprofen is like, I think each capsule is 100 or 200. Oh, I don't have that bottle anymore. So it's 200 milligrams per tablet. That's one tablet of ibuprofen is 200 milligrams. In your first year of med school, it's a complex 4 inhibitor, pretty bad for ETC ATP usage. Wow, that's so awesome. First year of med school, that's cool. I salute you and wish you tons of luck on your journey. I have some family members that are that went through medical school, and that was much respect to you. But I mean, also adding to that, I mean, it's again, like in this case, ibuprofen it's only one tablet and it's 200 milligrams, and enough for poisoning is 100 to 200 milligrams. So I mean, it's with one pill he was able to poison her and unalive her. It's crazy. Wow. All right, moving on.
Some of the capsules were filled with a fine white powder, which was calcium. Others were filled with these little crystals. That was cyanide. An arrest warrant was filed for Yaz for first-degree murder, and an international manhunt began. The quickest way from the Essa home to the cinema was taking the highway the entire way there, right? Not going down Wilson Mills Road. That would actually be a detour. Yaz had not been counting on that Rosie would take that road, a road with a slower speed limit. His plan was to poison his wife with cyanide, and if she was to take the highway, like he thought she would be driving 60-ish miles an hour. By the time the cyanide kicked in, she would have crashed at high speed. No need for toxicology report or worries about pills. Cause of death? Car accident. Good chance, by the way, that if she did crash on the highway, she probably could have injured or killed someone else too. Hard to imagine that didn't cross Yaz's mind.
See, that's what I mentioned before. It's like, not only is it the fact that this person was poisoned and got behind the wheel. I mean, obviously it's not her fault. I'm not saying it in like the way that you would describe someone that's consuming alcohol and would get behind the wheel. But in this case, she was poisoned. She went behind the wheel, and she drove a certain distance to get to the point that, then she ended up stopping and she passed away. But in that trajectory between one point and the other, like, anything could have happened. Like, even in that moment, like, just picture that moment where she was feeling those waves of pain, or like she wasn't starting to feel well, and then she's starting to feel that discomfort increase. There could have been a moment where, like, she was like maybe confused or anything, and like in that precise moment, anything could have happened. I mean, someone could have been crossing the street with a baby. There could have been a car that could have had kids in it. She could have ran into a house. There could have been endless possibilities of things that would have happened. And I mean, obviously we're thankful that nothing else happened besides the horrific crime that was committed against this person. But it could have been a whole lot worse. It could have been way worse. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's that little, I guess, positive spot that you can find in the midst of all of this darkness, I guess. I appreciate that totally, Dan. Hey, Nate. Hey, Munin. I was reading your comment, Nate. I'm sorry about that. Hey, Munin. How are you tonight? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining chat. And totally, Dan. I appreciate that comment. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see.
That's fucking cold. If that had happened, Yaz would have been free to have his mistresses over. A real hound dog, this guy. And it seems that's what he wanted. A life free to do whatever the frick he wanted. Drinking, fucking around. Sure, he hired his mistresses to be his nannies. This is like that Dr. Martin McNeil all over again. He hires his mistress to be his nanny. Gambling, and the old ball and chain cut loose. No divorce, no money bullshit. He didn't give a shite about anyone other than himself. So what's a murder? He hadn't counted on Rosie taking the slower road where the car would just stop and then her body could be examined. And he also hadn't counted on Rosie telling anyone, that she had just taken a pill. So when the police asked for them, he panicked. He had a big party that night and then he drove to Detroit and blew 50 grand at the MGM Grand Detroit Casino. And then he got on a plane.
I am live today, Wednesday. I start at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time because I'm in Northern California. I have my variety shows on Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time as well. Saturday shows, that's where we do, we react, learn, and discuss a whole bunch of different topics. We've done mythology, history. We've done 101 fun facts about anything and everything. Am I the antagonist? So yeah, Saturdays I keep it as ever-changing as possible. This Saturday we have Japanese mythology. It's actually episode 3 of our mythology series. We started the first one with Greek mythology. Second one was Norse mythology, and then the third one is now the one happening this Saturday. It's Japanese mythology. We'll be covering just I'll start off with a little bit of history about how the mythology was formed, and then we'll react to some videos that will talk more about deity, like the gods, how what the mythology consists of, stories about it, etc., etc. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. I mean, if you're interested in the topic of mythology, definitely join our Saturday show. And Tuesdays are specifically, I actually changed it this week. Starting next week, Tuesdays are for Patreon members only. And that's going to be just a random day. We'll be doing just different type of live streams that'll be Patreon member only. So if you're interested, definitely sign up for that Patreon. But my main show on Twitch is Wednesdays and Saturdays. Yeah. And it is so awesome. My love for Japanese mythology started a long time ago with when Amaterasu came out. I don't know if you remember the game. And then Amaterasu was then featured in what was it? Super Smash Brothers? I don't remember what game. I think it was Super Smash Brothers. But whatever game, he was included in it. Oh no, Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm sorry, I got my fighting games confused. Marvel vs. Capcom. Later on, there was this game that came out for Apple Arcade. I think it's called Yokai. I'm not sure if that's the name, but all of the monsters in the game are Japanese mythology related. So they're all there, and it's so awesome. That's how I actually learned the names, and then I just saw a few videos about it, and they were extremely interesting. So yeah, again, without extending it a lot more, it is pretty interesting. And again, if you're interested, Saturday is the day.